Who here has been diagnosed or knows someone with a chronic disease? And did your doctor tell you there's nothing you can do despite taking prescription meds? Look around or online. There are many of us. And I'm talking about chronic conditions like thyroid problems, depression, chronic fatigue, cardiovascular problems. Did you know that 8.7 billion euro of the annual health costs in Germany are spent on depression? And those numbers were from long before the pandemic hit. You know what? I believe the current medical system is broken. Nowadays, people see their medical diagnosis as a lifelong problem. We don't challenge the treatment of our medical doctors. We blindly believe their diagnosis, but they're human just like all of us. I honestly mean that, despite being a medical doctor myself, a double board-certified ophthalmologist, and a certified functional medicine practitioner. It's finally time to let all the people know that there are solutions that everybody can have and advocate for their own health. We need to hold the space to believe in not only your medical doctor's advice, but to think outside the box as it comes to treatments. It's a new way of looking at healthcare while advocating for yourself and your personal needs. Let me take you on a short journey. 17 years ago, okay, that wasn't that short, I was sitting here in Frankfurt in an office full of degrees, files, books, and a distinct smell of hand sanitizer with my 17-year-old gynecologist who sat down at the desk and began to tell me that I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, an autoimmune condition. A healthy immune system's main purpose is to attack foreign and harmful cells in our bodies. In contrast to this, autoimmune conditions are defined by the presence of antibodies against certain healthy body tissues, in my case, against the thyroid. Those autoimmune antibodies attack the thyroid and cause inflammation. Thus, patients with Hashimoto's are not able to produce enough thyroid hormones, which are needed for many crucial functions in our bodies. The conventional treatment consists of regular blood tests to check the thyroid hormone levels and, of course, taking thyroid hormones every day. Now, back to the story. At the time of this shocking diagnosis, I was already in medical school, which means I should have known the words coming out of my doctor's mouth. But honestly, in that moment, all sounded like Charlie Brown to me. Wah, 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 wah. A flood of emotions led me to many questions like, what did I do wrong? Why me? And I felt hopeless. You see, I thought it was about my reproductive system because I got originally tested for proper thyroid function due to the disappearance of my regular menstruation. I had no idea it was an autoimmune condition which would change my life forever. Then I thought, will I ever get to have a family? I have always wanted to be a mom. I chose to surrender to the diagnosis, continuing with my life for many years because I felt normal and wasn't experiencing any symptoms until years later. That was when I was experiencing new symptoms like fatigue, muscle aches, joint pain, and I dutifully went to all the medical specialists and asked for answers. They did a thorough amount of tests and told me my figures are within normal range. However, they could not find the cause for those symptoms. Really? I was so eager to find out, and all they could tell me was, maybe it's the stress or something else. In most cases, they got annoyed by all my questions. And normally, doctors will just prescribe you to see a therapist, as they think it's of psychological nature. Presumably, if I weren't a medical colleague, they would have done exactly that. I knew that wasn't my problem. I have been trained in the medical field, and I knew something else was wrong. I felt like having symptoms that no one believed in. At that point in my life, everything changed. So I started laying doubts on the current medical system I was trained in and became committed to start thinking outside the box. Through intensive research, I discovered more and more revolutionary information which all had the same key message. When you experience symptoms and are then diagnosed with the disease, there are always underlying causes that have led to the symptoms in the first place. With functional medicine, you can work on those particular root causes of the disease, and by creating a healthy environment for the cells, the body is then able to recreate its own health. Everybody can reactivate the body's innate self-healing potential. Let's examine this in numbers. Your gut lining can be better in 4 days. Our cornea, the outer part of the clear eye, can fix itself in 10 days. And the liver in 7 months. Our bodies are so amazing. This is incredible news for everyone with a chronic disease diagnosis. The concept of functional medicine works differently because instead of simply addressing different symptoms on their own, we focus with every single patient on finding the underlying causes of the disease, the root causes, and treat those by looking at lifestyle factors such as diet, nutrition, sleep, exercise, environment, emotional health, and mindset. I will use my example of Hashimoto's for this purpose again. My body didn't start producing antibodies against my own tissue just by coincidence. I had many disbalances throughout my body, like the wrong bacteria and small leakages in my gut, leaky gut syndrome, and problems with my adrenals due to the huge amount of stress. Those disbalances were constantly triggering my immune system. And because of that, my immune system became overactive and created antibodies which attacked my healthy thyroid tissue. Now comes the amazing thing about our bodies. Are you ready? As soon as you change the environment of your cells, by making sure to exclude certain foods, for example, or work on lifestyle factors, your body is able to turn everything around and start with a self-healing process. Led by all the new insights I gained into this field of study, I, as the conventional trained medical doctor, was excited to try those revolutionary options on me. Spoiler alert, they absolutely worked in my case. And now, let me show you how you can use the basics of functional medicine today to fight your chronic disease. A great starting point is nutrition. So I started the autoimmune paleo diet, which is created to reduce the amount of inflammation in the body by strictly excluding dietary options like grains, legumes, nuts and seeds, eggs, nightshades and dairy, together with coffee, alcohol, sugars and any processed foods. My husband committed to starting this diet with me, and the first few days we felt like the flu. We can tell you, detox is real. It's evident that humans get those withdrawal symptoms from sugar, gluten, dairy, and caffeine. We know from research that the health of your gut is essential, especially in autoimmune diseases. In our diet, there are good fats and bad fats. It's really important to know what kind of fats and in what amount and ratio your body needs the omega-6s and omega-3s to function properly. Nutritional deficiencies are lacking in the food we eat, even if they are organically produced, because our soils are depleted in minerals and nutrients. That's why supplements are essential. They are the basis of health. With Hashimoto, my clients and I have all experienced that adding certain supplements can really help. When people come in here, it is what they're all lacking in, and here is what I add. To sum up, the right diet combined with some supplements will support your health and is the first step to fighting your chronic disease. The next crucial, but almost always underestimated factor is finding the right support in your life. On the one hand, support by others. I was so grateful that my husband decided to commit to this journey along with me. It makes such a huge difference if somebody like your significant other has your back. It makes it easier and doesn't feel like you have to give up everything because he's enjoying pizza and ice cream in front of your healthy diet options. When the people in your environment choose to stick to the diet that you need to be on, it's super helpful. Not only physically, but emotionally. So, enroll your support system, tell them why you are changing your diet, and ask them to support your decisions and to call you out when you want to veer off the path. On the other hand, self-support. That means truly believing in yourself. It's believing you deserve better than your current health situation. Truth is, most of us struggle to think we are worth of spending money on ourselves. However, you must believe that you are worthy of the work and money that this journey is going to cost. Honestly, that wasn't straightforward for me, because I was trained the conventional way, and I didn't think I was worth spending more money on myself and my health, plus supplements and nutrient support. But let me tell you, spending money on your own health is the best long-term investment you will ever make, because your body is your most important asset, which makes the return on investment better than gambling with GameStop shares. And last but not least, a functional medicine doctor can become a game changer for many patients when faced with chronic diseases. Let me give you 2 examples. In one case, you play soccer and break your leg. Here, you certainly want to be working with a conventional medical doctor as you know the cause, the opponent. In another case, you have a chronic disease like Hashimoto's. You're German, so you visit the general practitioner. He prescribes medication which cannot really help you, as in my case. Here, you might be interested to know more about how your metabolic enzymes function on a cellular level, right? When dealing with chronic diseases, functional medicine, with its ability to work directly on the underlying root causes, is a wonderful option. With functional medicine, we can detect the disbalances in your body and consequently start creating balance again. A functional medicine doctor is more of a strategist. We have that 10,000 feet above viewpoint. And we help you to put finally the puzzle pieces together for your healing journey. We are literally holding your hand through it all. This is why I see it as the perfect hybrid if we combine conventional and functional medicine when treating the patient. To put the content of the graphic in one quote, don't treat the disease of the patient, treat the patient with the disease. This new way has been adopted in other countries, and now it is time for us to understand that we have better resources than we thought we did. I shared with you my story at the beginning, and I want to close up with the present. Today, after having done exactly what I've just described, I have more energy, more passion, and I'm living a wonderful life with my husband, our son, and our dog Emma. You can do it too. You are not alone. And going forth, know that you never have to sit in your doctor's offices again, hearing your diagnosis and believing that your life is over. You now have a support system and answers to the untreated symptoms and the freedom to choose differently. Today, let's challenge the current medical system, one diagnosis at a time. Now, I have only 2 more words to say. Hasenbeck out.